Happy Friday! Hello, this is Pamela with Passionate About Scrapbooking. And today is Feel Good Friday, live with Pamela, and this is where I do cards, 3D projects, fun folds, and today I have something a little different than what I've done in the past. I created my own one-sheet wonder. So using a 12 by 12 piece of designer series paper, I've created 6 cards with no scraps. So I'm excited about that, something fun. So I'm going to walk through the 6 cards with you and how to create those. If you're joining me, please say hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're viewing from. Let me know how your weather's going, if you've got any big plans for the weekend. That would be awesome. I'm going to look and make sure everything's working properly. I think y'all can hear me fine. And I should be live on Facebook and YouTube. But I'm going to go and check real quick, just to be 100% sure. I see I'm live on Facebook or YouTube, and let me, guess I can stay there. Yeah. Let me see about Facebook. There I am. Hello, hello. Okay, and let me let the dog out real quick, and we'll get started. All right, so let me move a few things around a little bit. Gonna have to do some reorganizing after this. Just kind of went crazy creating yesterday afternoon and this morning. So please say hello if you're joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, wherever you're viewing from. All right, we have a couple of fun things happening. I'm going to share real quick. This is all that I can share with you is the front of the new mini catalog that's coming September through December. I have a couple of products. I have some more that will be arriving, I think, next Tuesday. And then I'm going to get busy working on using the products that are inside here. Lots of fun things coming. And then, of course, we have our catalog, and I am using the DSP that's on special, excuse me, now through August 31st, 15% off all the DSP that is in here. I can show you inside of here. You see some of the DSP right here that I'll be sharing today, but let's, I know I can't go through all of it, but I can flip through a few of these real quick for you so you can see what's available. So all this DSP, this is 12 by 12, two-sided, so front, back, and you get 6 sheets, 2 of each. And it's 15% off, so it runs about $10.63, I think is what it comes to, and it's regular $12.50. So if you want to save a little money, this is a great time to do it. Then there's Take to the Sky. This one's on special. All of these are on special. I have samples, lots of samples using the To Market. I'm going to be using this one today, the Wildly Flowering, to make my cards. I've used this the last week or so. I guess just Wednesday I did a 8.5 by 11 scrapbook page, and then I did a card maybe a month ago or so. I've done some cards and an 8.5 by 11 using this fun lily pond lane. So ducks and fish and just outdoorsy fun stuff. I've done some cards with this. I may have shared them on my Facebook page using the Thoughtful Journey. Definitely want to play around with this a little bit more. Then we have the Country Woods Suite that has 2 DSP packs that are on special that you can choose from. I've been using this one with the Seaside Wishes for my beach pages, and I haven't done much with this one yet, but I will in the future. Done some scrapbook pages and cards using the Unbounded Beauty. So we have a huge variety, and I think there's a few more, like this pattern is hidden back here somewhere. And same with the perennial, I don't even remember the name of it. I'll tell you in just a minute. So again, we have lots of DSP. I was going to look and see if I had my flyer handy somewhere, but that gives you a good representation. You can just go look under the specials. There it is. So that's all the designer series paper packets. There's a few 6x6 packets and then quite a few 12x12 packets that are available. So like this one, I didn't even know was in the catalog because it barely shows you anything. Same with this one. This is the Perennial Lavender. And I feel like this one too. So there were like 3 that, oh, and this one as well. So they were kind of hidden. And they didn't have a collection necessarily that went with them. So that's, so I grabbed those. I made sure, I think I got all of the DSP in the catalog, minus this one right here, the Winter Meadow, but it's out of stock right now, so I'll get it when it comes back in stock later in the month. All right, so I have a diagram to share with you. I have 2 sets of cards that I've already created using my One Sheet Wonder, and then I'm going to create a 3rd set for you today and show you how quick and easy these come together. So I have this is the first set that I used. This is the Countryside paper. Let me make sure. Countryside In paper. So I just chose 1 sheet of the DSP. You can use any of them. This is just the one that I chose. And I used the front and the back. So it's got a pretty little pattern back there. I'll show it on some of the other cards. But what I did was cut my paper into 4x6 pieces, and then I used the 4x6 piece on one card. I just cut it up different ways. So I'll show you how I do that. And I'm using the hexagon punch again, the heartfelt hexagon, along with the stamp set that coordinates with it. So I'm just using this for all the cards that I've created today. And I'll just flip through these real quick. And depending on the direction of your pattern, you can turn your cards different ways. This one was fairly random, so I could do different orientations. Some of these, like this one, I didn't have any extra paper to put on the inside. This one, I think I did have a little bit, so I just put it down there at the bottom. But I just made sure to use every single bit of the 12x12. So I made some little banners up here to cut it a little bit different. This is using, I think I used Night of Navy and Boho Blue, I believe. Then that one had quite a bit more paper on the inside, so you can use that part to do your message if you wanted to. And then this one, so you just need some card bases, 1 sheet of designer series paper, some scraps of a cardstock, probably White Daisy or what is it, Very Vanilla, a ribbon, and some embellishments and inks. And that's about it. So I can't wait to show you how easy these come together. I think that one didn't have anything on the inside. This one did have a little strip, I believe. Yep. So I can kind of tell by just looking. That one had a little bit as well. All right. So there's that set. I just wanted to share that with you. So those were my samples. I created these this morning before I started. So if you're joining me, say hello. I'd love to know who's with me. Hey, Debbie, good morning. And then same thing. This one, the orientations are a little bit different because when I cut the paper, it is more directional. So I just made the cards so that they would work well with that. So they're a little bit different than the others. I tried to do my ribbon a couple of different ways that lots of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators do, and I actually never have done my ribbon like that before. So I tried to get a little creative on that, just using the ribbon in a little different way. So again, super simple cards, but I think they turned out really cute. Then with Sincere Sympathy. So this is a great one. It's got kind of a variety of messages that you would use throughout the year. You could do wedding, sympathy, just thinking of you. You've got birthday, and yeah, thinking of you is just, kind of, you could do the for you, and I hope your day is filled with joy. You could stamp some of those inside as well. I didn't do that. That one doesn't have anything on the inside. And then there's just a sweet bridal shower card, wedding card. Don't think, yeah, there was a little bit just right there. And then the final one. So again, all the designs will be the same, primarily the base of the card, just the orientation and then how you want to decorate the front. So let's get busy in doing that. That was the perennial lavender, by the way. I think I know what ink pads I want to use for the one I'm going to do today. So I think it's going to be Mossy Meadow and Early Espresso. So it's going to be a little bit darker. So I used a variety. On the lavender ones that I did, I used, just FYI, Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. Those are the only colors I had that coordinated with that set. And then for the Countryside Inn, I used Night of Navy and Boho Blue. So, all right, today, and then I'm going to use some of this frayed grosgrain ribbon along with the pecan pie and clear ribboned adhesive back dots. So these were from the online exclusives. I have another pack in there if I need it. And I have a scrap of, this is half of an 8.5 by 11. So that's what I'll do my stamping and punching out with. So I'm going to set these over to the side, kind of make room. I'll put that over here. And then there's that stamp set. It's just a stamp set, so it coordinates with that hexagon. It's just a photopolymer stamp set. So these are pretty cost effective. I know I did a poll about the punches and the dies, and I'm really liking the punches just because I don't have to pull my machine out. And because I only have like 3 punches, so I don't know that I would buy all of them, but a few. This one is really, really great. And I really do like the ease of how to line up the punch. So I'll show that to you today as well. All right, so I just wanted to show this paper off since it is on special right now. So the Countryside Inn, I'm just going to flip it. This is a new full pack. that I had. I accidentally bought 2 of these, so I'm going to have to do a lot of stuff with it. So I can make more cards, scrapbook pages, of course. This one, I love the blue, all the different blues in here. And it's got some bunnies and some birds. So this could be for spring, Easter. And then I'm thinking this would be even pretty for winter or even the fall. Little non-traditional fall colors, because there's a fox. So this is kind of making me feel like fall or autumn, just with the foxes, I guess, and the leaves. And then the back of that one is kind of a pretty checked with little flowers on it, and some more trees and flowers. So again, I just think a little fallish, or maybe it could be winter as well. There's some little flowers on the back of there. So the paper is just beautiful. And then this one is pretty. It's lighter than most of the other papers. And then it has a light background. So there are your papers. You get all of this in a pack, 2 of each sheet. That was the Countryside Inn. And find a place to set all of this out of the way. And then let me share with you the what I call it, perennial lavender. So this one is missing 1 sheet since I used it on those cards, but you can see all the pretty colors. I only had maybe 1 or 2 of these colors in ink pads. So I'm going to have to get these purples because they're so pretty. And I'm not usually a purple girl, but this has turned out really pretty. So when they design these papers, what's kind of neat, so that's the one that I used on, so there's only 1 sheet left. Anyhow, they actually paint these like on canvases or paper or something, watercolor paper, I guess. And then once they get what they want, I think they capture it, digitally, and then do overlays, and it's a really neat process. This one's neat. You could cut right down the center there if you wanted to. And then, oh, I like this because it's gingham checked. And that's a lot going on there, but that would be pretty cut up for a card. Some more pretty purples. And then this one's kind of similar to the one that I used, but there's more color in it. There's some, I don't remember what it's called, something spruce is that green in there, I think. But anyways, really, really love the paper, having fun, doing different things with it. And then let me share with you what I picked a color. I think I picked a pattern, but I'll show this paper to you. This wasn't one that I probably would have gotten, but after I've seen some artwork with it, it's really, really pretty. So it'll even be pretty for some scrapbook pages, maybe like for Mother's Day. Could be great for weddings, possibly. It's got this wild wheat in it, which is growing on me in small doses. Let's put it that way. Okay, that was the back of that one. All right, and then you've got Moody Mauve. These are all colors from the, I think, 23-25 in colors. So, which somehow I ended up getting most of those ink pads, which is awesome. I think this might be the one that I'm going to use. Let's see what the back was. I think so, yep. I'm going to grab the most colorful one probably. And then we have more of a monotone, maybe a little bit of brown and a smaller pattern on the back. So I'm going to grab this one. I really like it. I like the contrast from the front and the back. And if you had one that didn't have a lot of contrast, then you might bring in some contrasting cardstock. So you can add more to these cards, but I'm just going to do them super simple. All right, so are you ready for the diagram? I actually drew it out on a 12 by 12, so you can screenshot this if you want. I am going to create a PDF of it, because I did make a little boo-boo right at the end, of course. I was doing so well. So these are so from here, you're going to cut your paper in 2 6 by 12 pieces, and then you're going to cut it into 3 4 by 6 pieces, and I'll show you how to do that. So like from here to here is a 4 by 6, here to here is a 4 by 6, and so forth. You go down the page. Okay, so don't let this part overwhelm you so much. We'll work in like quadrants. I don't know if that's the word I want, but since there's 6 of them. But we'll follow along with this. So screenshot that if you want to real quick. And I'm going to move it over to the side and just walk you through it. So using this paper right here, and this one's great because it is kind of random. So I'm going to be able to orient my cards however I want. And then this is just kind of a linen looking background of the boho blue. Okay, so we need our paper trimmer. And I'm just using white card bases. You can use the basic white 8.5 by 11 and cut them down if you want. I actually have some card bases that I still have from close to my heart. So I'm just grabbing those. So I'll need 6 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got exactly 6. So that would be 3 sheets of 8.5 by 11 cut in half and scored. Okay, so that's a 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece right there. And 2 of those make your 8.5 by 11. All right. So I'll set those over here to the side so we can create our cards. And let me see if I have a small one, but we'll do it this way. It might be helpful if you don't have a lot of room on your space. You can just stack all your pieces and maybe put Post-it notes in between them if you want. You can mark the backside with a pencil, but you kind of have to know what the backside's going to be. And you may not know at the time. But if you have room, you can make a stack going down the page, which how about I just do that? I'll make it simple. I'll do it over here. I'm going to move these items over, and then I can grab them here in a few minutes. Just straightening up my space a little bit. All right, so I have this space right here that I'll just put them onto. Okay, so again, this isn't really, everything as you can see upside down. I don't think it's going to matter too much how we do this. So let's start by cutting our 12 by 12 into a 6 by 12. So measure it 6. That gives you 2 6 by 12s. Then we're going to just rotate one time, and we're going to cut at 4 inches and at 4 inches. And that gives you 3 4 by 6s right here. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with this piece. So just measure it 4. and at 4. So we're creating 6 cards out of one 12 by 12 designer series paper. There won't be any scraps of your designer series paper. So that's what I'm loving about this. Okay, let's just start. I'm going to kind of put that right there to the side so you can kind of see what we're doing. And I'm going to take a sip of coffee before I get busy. And this part doesn't take that long. So how's everyone doing? Got any plans for the weekend, Debbie? All right, so I'm just going to take the first 6 by 6 piece here, and you can see, you can just lay it over top of that, and you can see how we're going to cut it. Okay? So this is 4 inches and this is 6. So we can just measure at 5 1/4. That's going to give us the 5 1/4 piece along with the 3 1/4 by 4 inch piece. That's card number 1. So I'm just going to set it up there at the top, and I'm just going to go down here with my pieces. I may have to go across a little bit, but I think they'll all fit right over here. Okay, take your next piece, and how about we go down right here? Actually, I'm gonna do it over here because that's kind of how I showed you the cards earlier. All right, so I'm going to do this measurement right here. So 4 by 4, 1 1/4 by 4, and 3 1/4 by 4 is what we're going to have. So I'm going to measure at 4, so I get that 4-inch square, and put that in my stack, and then move over one more time to 1 1/4. And then you'll have those 2 pieces, and we'll see which way they go when we put it on the card. But we're going to flip some of these when we put our cards together. Okay, so I can put that one right there. Grab another 4 by 6. This one gets a little bit more complicated right here. This is the hardest one to do. So you'll be able to see as I do it. All right, first thing we're going to do is measure at 5 1/4. So you can see how there's a line right here all the way. So that's the first cut you want to make right there. So 5 1/4. I'm going to move this piece out of the way, and it may look kind of backwards, but I work, if you wanted to, you could move it all the way over here, but don't worry too much about the way the diagram actually looks. Just do that first measurement, and then you have this piece to come back to in a minute. And then I'm going to take this one and turn it 1 1/4 turn, and I'm going to measure. I'm going to go up. Actually, I'm going to go down because it'll be easier to cut those 1/4 inches first. So measure at 1/4 inch. I'm using this measurement over here. If you wanted to, it's 4 inches. You could do it at 3 3/4, but I'm just going to use the 1/4 inch mark over here. Okay, there's 1. I need 2 of those pieces. So do it again. One's going to be this way, one's going to be that way. I already know that. Okay, and then this one, you have 3 1/2 inches, so we're going to measure it. So it ends up being half of this piece, so it's 1 3/4. So measure over here, and then you get 1 of each like that. Okay, and that part's done. This part right here is done. And then we need to cut this piece right here. So we're going to turn it in our machine or our cutting trimmer a 1/4 turn. So it should be 4 inches long. So measure you can go over here to this side and measure at 3/4 of an inch. So you get a little 3/4 by 3/4 square. Again, all of these pieces are being used. And then you can either measure at 1 1/2 or 1 3/4. I'm going to do 1 1/2. The longest piece here, I'm going to flip it over, and the other two pieces I'm going to keep up like that. Okay, so that's card number 3. And then we'll jump over to this one. This is super simple because you're just cutting it in half. So you have two 3x4s. So grab your next 4x6. This would be card number 4. We're going to measure at 3 inches because this is 4 and this is 6. So just cutting it in half. One is going to be that way and one's going to be that way. And then you can decide when you go to use them which ones you want. I'm going to set it right there. See if I can squeeze. I'm not sure I can squeeze all the cards in here, but we may have to go up there. We just have 2 more to do. So we have this one, which is 5 1/4 by 4. And then we're going to cut it in a diagonal. So I need to cut off 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to cut this end off. So 3/4 of an inch, or you can measure it 4 1/4. So either 4 1/4 over here. If you're looking on this side, it's 3/4 of an inch. Okay, that piece stays just like that. And this one, you want to cut, just kind of bring it up like this. Line up your corners right in the track, right there. Hold it down tightly. One's going to be this way, one's going to be that way. So it'll depend on your card, how you want to position those on the card, and we'll decide that when we get to it. All right, we just have 1 more to cut, and it's again going to be 5 1/4 long, and then we're going to cut these pieces. All right, so let's do our 5 1/4. That's the easiest thing to do first. And so I did 4 by 5 1/4 so that you'd have white showing around the card base. That's what works great with this pattern. Okay, this one I'm going to hold on to right there for a second. And then this one I'm going to cut at 2 inches. So I'm cutting it in half so that I have one that way and one this way. And they all fit right over here. This piece I've got to cut a 1/4 inch off. So I'm going to, so you want to line it up maybe at the 1/2 inch mark on this side. Since it's a little piece, sometimes it moves a little bit, so you want to be careful. Make sure you get it down flat and hold that down. And then you have one of each right there. And that goes to card number 6. All right, so that is all the cutting I think that we've got to do. Again, there's that diagram if you wanted to screenshot it. So, yay, you're gonna scrapbook. I don't think I'm gonna get to, well, I've got to do a little bit to prepare for Monday, but tomorrow is Jeff and I's 7th anniversary, 7th wedding anniversary. So we are going to try to spend some time together, at least go have dinner. I don't know, I'm trying to find a place to put that diagram. Yeah, have to remember and show it to you again in a minute. All right, so now we need our card bases. Let me see what I did with those. And so now we're going to go ahead and assemble the card bases, and then we'll do our decorating. So again, I've got 6 card bases here that are 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. So I already have pre-made bases, but if you wanted to use white cardstock of some kind, you could use 8 1/2 by 11, cut them in half, and then score them down the center at 4 1/4. Okay, so just take one at a time. I'm gonna line them up. Got my bone folder here. Give that a nice crisp look. Okay, I'm gonna pick the ones up here for card number 1. Okay, this one's super simple. There's several different ways you could do it. You could layer it like this. It could be landscape or portrait. See how the leaves are going? So I'm probably going to do it this way. You could also just flip the paper if you wanted to and do it this way. Just whatever look you prefer. I like all the flowers, so we're going to do that. So we're just going to, there's no special, you can do some special technique if you wanted to. I'm probably going to run out of seal here in a minute. I think I have some in here somewhere extra. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I think I bought 3 of them, so I have them somewhere. All right, so I'm just kind of looking at the position of the paper. So I'm going to lay these down just like this. So the first time through this, it takes a little time to figure it out. The next time you make them, they go together a lot quicker. And then you could do these in bulk. You could do a whole pack of pattern paper and 6 by 12. So is that 72 cards? Yeah. Yeah. 72 cards. So this would be fabulous with Christmas paper. All right, I'm going to position my card down here so that the 6 is right in the center. That's just easy for me to line that up where right down the center. Okay, so that's card number 1. Super simple, and then we'll decorate it a little bit. I think I'm just gonna lay them all up here. Or maybe I should do it over here so you can see where we're at. Okay, so card number 2, whoops. And if you have a bone folder, it's a great tool to have. It just kind of scores that a little bit tighter and your card doesn't stay flapped open. And if you do it really, really good, it'll stay flat completely. Okay, this one, we're using these 2 pieces. So there's several options you can do with this one as well. You could do it that way. It could be maybe this way, which I think I might do on this one because I did it this way on, I did one of each on the other cards. And again, you can flip the paper different if you want to. I think I'm going to do this one going up and down. I like that because it gives me kind of a variety of card size. They're all the same size, but they're just oriented a little bit different, I guess is the word I want. Okay, and then this boho blue is gonna just butt up right against there. Should have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around ish. And then this piece, you could do it down here if you wanted to. That's a thought. You could do another layer up here. There's just lots of things you could do. But I was trying not to overlap paper too much. So I'm going to just take this, excuse me, and adhere it down in here. Just so my card isn't plain. And you could stamp a sentiment in there as well. Okay, so that's card number 2. I'm just going to put it on top and then we'll rearrange them. And then we've got card number 3. Is it Lynn? Hello, Lynn. Maybe on YouTube. Yeah, I have a couple on Facebook, I think. So sometimes it's just super quiet on Fridays. Excuse me. Got a little frog in my throat. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for commenting. You love journaling and crafting. Awesome. All right. So here are I'm going to use one of each on the front. This one I like to have going this way primarily because I'm going to do the banners up here. So let's look at the different patterns to see what we like. They'll work like that, I think. Okay, so I'm going to do this one right here. And again, you can use the blue if you like the dominant color. As my pieces get tinier, I'm going to grab in my silicone mat so I don't get adhesive all over my glass mat right now. And then just going to create a border with this one right here. Okay, I think I got a little bit of adhesive. Clean that up a little bit with my, can't think of the name of it right now, adhesive remover. All I can think of is SpongeBob. That's what my daughter named it when she was little, was SpongeBob. All right, this one, these right here, we are going to do a little cutting, so you'll need your paper, scissors, snips. I'm just doing a little dovetail, and I'm going to do that on each one. Got a little bit of adhesive on that too. And then these two I'm going to do with facing up like that. So I'm just going up the center, maybe about 1/4 of an inch. And then from corner up to that where I cut. So I get a little piece like that. I need to fix that a little bit. And all these are a little bit different lengths. So that adds some visual interest. So these will be the scraps that we have. They go in the trash. That's all the scraps that you're going to have. Okay, so I'm going to put this blue down first. There's a little smudge there I got from something. I'm going to do it about right there. And then I'm going to overlap these just a tiny bit with the floral side up. Just line them up to the top. Just a fun design element and a great way to use up your scraps, your pieces, so you don't have any excess paper. Okay, then we'll put a sentiment like right there. These pieces go on the inside. I'm going to reverse them for the inside just to make it a little bit visually pleasing, I guess, or surprising. So I want the floral to show just on the 1/4 inch strip. And again, if you did these for like Christmas cards, you would get, I believe, 72 cards out of a pack of 12 by 12 designer series paper. So I could grab some Christmas paper. We already have some that's real elegant and pretty. And then we have some more whimsical ones that are coming out September 4th, I believe, is the day. All right, so I'm not whipping through these super fast, but if you were making them, you could totally go faster than I'm going. I just want to make sure y'all have good instructions and kind of a step-by-step process. This one's super easy, and it could go several different ways. It could go, I might do it this way this time because I've been doing the others like this, kind of going up and down like that. So I think this one, I'll orientate it this way. So I'm going to put the boho blue, and it's probably, so, and I did want to show you too, see how that's not quite straight? You can flip it over if you want. Also, you can get it lined up like it should be, hold it really tight right there, and then kind of redo this, and it will work. All right, so this piece, there's about, I'm still gonna flip it over. I still see a little bit. So I'm just guesstimating, I'm doing probably about 3/8 of an inch. Right here, just eyeballing it. Felt like that was a good measurement to overlap them. Get it straight. All right, so still, you could do it either way like that. I'm gonna do this one like that, just to change things up a little bit. All right, we've got 2 more, and we just have to do some decorating. All right, this one's fun. There's some options here. This piece is gonna go on the inside. So this was cut like this. You flip it over. You can do it this way if you want. And I thought too, I didn't do it, but you could even not put adhesive on one side of these, and you could tuck like a tag in here or a gift card on the front if you wanted to. But I'm just going to lay it flat and have a sentiment there. So you could do it that way. You could do it, it could go this way. So it could go either way. You could flip it around to go this way as well. You could do something, depends, see the way it cuts it, you kind of have to, you could do it this way, which I think is what I did on, reminds me of an envelope. I may have done the first card like that. So I think I'll do that one, but with that one on top. So something like that. I gotta let the dog back in real quick. So I guess Pumpkin wore himself out because he's actually right back there in the cubby sleeping. So hopefully he'll stay asleep. Because if he's awake and I have a ribbon out, I've got to go put him away. So you could do it this way. Don't think I can get the floral unless you did it. Could do it that way too. I don't really like that way so much. I like it the other way. So let's do this, I think, for something different. I'm going to do it. I still just really like the floral on top. I like to see all the pretty. And it's going to work good. You see there's no blue in this one, but there's blue over here. So that'll coordinate nicely with this. Okay, and then if you wanted to do it that way, you could do it this way too. But I'm going to stick with this. So you have some different styles, designs that you could do. Just remember that. Just play around with your paper a little bit. Okay, and then I'll have a sentiment right in the center there. This one, I'm going to do it this way. So just preference. And normally I would do a piece that goes all the way across there, but I don't have that size, so I'm just going to put it like right over here, just to add a little color on the inside. And our last one. These are our pieces for the last one. These are going to go on the inside, and these are going to just go here. You can do them several different ways. It can be a landscape, or you can turn it this way, which I think I'm going to this time because I think I did the other ones both landscape. So let's do I'm kind of looking at my paper to see. I think I'm just going to do it like that. I'm going to turn it up this way maybe because that flower is going up. Again, about 1/8 of an inch all the way around is what you get. Go over here. I think it's just about done. And then you can just line that up right there. Okay, I'm going to open it up and put this. You can do it this way or this way. I'm going to do it that way. Let's see if I can get one more piece adhered before I run out. Then I'll have to change it. Let me go back over to my silicone mat to put some on. Yay! I think I got it all done. All right, so, and there's the inside of that card. All right, so I'm going to lay all these out so you can kind of see them. And put them kind of in, I think this was the order that I had them on the diagram. That one goes over here. And I'm going to lay them out like that so we'll orientate them different ways. That way you can get a visual of what each one of those look like. So that's right there, 1, 2, and then this one is the next. That is this section right here. And then this one is the 3x4s. Then down here is the one we cut diagonally. And then this one is right here. So how cool is that? All right, so now we can decorate. So I'm just gonna stack these up in the order that I had I can set them over to the side. So we gotta do some stamping and punching. So let's get that done. I think I decided, let me double check. I think I'm gonna do Early Espresso and Mossy Meadow, because those are in that particular pattern paper. I could have brought in some Moody Mauve, but I think I'm going to stick with these right here. And my stamp set and my punch are what I need now. Okay. So this is just half of an 8.5 by 11. I think I can get 6 of these punched out of there, and then I'll kind of show you what I did. And I just kept it the same. I'm going to keep it the same on all the cards, all the samples I've made. Okay, so I'm going to start with, I have about a 3x3 inch block. I'm going to start with this one right here. Just kind of drop it on your cardstock, and then you can pick it up with your block. How are you, Lisa? Just saw you commented. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up both my ink pads. I can put those just like right up here. This is where those little labels come in really handy, so you know what is what. Okay, so I'm going to do, let's see here. I'm thinking for a minute. I'm going to do the outside with, okay, this one's pretty bold, so you can lay it right down. Let me see if I can get, I should be able to get 2 across. I'm going to do, and I'll have to kind of cut the paper so I can punch them out properly. I think because I'm using Early Espresso, I'm going to do all the borders in Early Espresso. So I'm just going to do 3 of that design. And let me pull in my chamois. So I'm doing 3 of each of these hexagon designs. And you can do it however you choose if you were to use the same combination of products. Now this one's a little bit trickier. Okay, still again, just kind of lay it down so it forms like it's supposed to. But since the lines are so skinny, you don't want to press down because those little dots will get flat, go push. I mean, they'll just, they smear. They look like they're smeared. So get some ink on there, and then you're just like going to drop it on here. Just like that. You don't really want to press at all. Okay? And lift it up, and you get a nice clean image. So just a little tip for this particular stamp set. Okay? It just keeps me from holding it and pressing it. Okay, just like that. Ta-da! Okay. Now we still need, I'm going to do all my sentiments, I think, in the Early Espresso 2, and then we'll do our little icons that are in here. So I ended up using all of the stamps. So I love that. Okay, so let's start with, we'll start with this fun bold one, sending you lots of love and hugs. Just find a block that fits on that pretty well. And this one I am going to go into, because there's not enough room on here to put an icon. I am going to use the Mossy Meadow is this one. And then just bring it a little so I can see it well. Center it in that one. Okay. I don't know if I had a little hair. Oh well. Okay, and then the next one we want to do is, let's do, I did the bolder ones in the bolder outline. Make sure my block is clean. All right, this one I'm going to do in Early Espresso. You can do it right up here. Try to put it up high enough. I mean, it pretty much centers in there, but high enough you have a space right here to put the little heart. And then we've got, what's the other one? I think I did the With Sympathy. And again, I'm going to do Early Espresso and kind of bring it up a little bit higher, as high as you can, but keeping it inside there. So you can put a little icon down here at the bottom. And then some of these are going to go like this way. So let's do that one. This is, I hope your day is filled with joy. This one I'm going to do in Early Espresso. Again, that font, you don't want to wiggle it around too much so it doesn't smear. When your lines are super thin, you want to be careful pressing down too hard, or the ink will just kind of smush out. All right, and then we have Mr. and Mrs. Can use a smaller block for that. And yep, I'm gonna go with the early espresso. Gives me lots of room around there that I can do some of the icon. One particular, I have used the same ones on all of it. Now this last one, I'm going to start with this flower, and I'm going to do it in Mossy Meadow. Now you could stamp off once if you wanted to, which I think I'm going to. I'm going to stamp off on this. Give me a little bit lighter shade. And then my sentiment will pop out just a little bit more. I didn't do that on some of these others, and you could tell. Or it was a little hard to read. So there's For You. So let's do that in early espresso. And then about right there. Okay, so you can see that a little bit better. You might could even stamped it off one more time. Even got a lighter look if you wanted to. All right, now I can go to even a smaller block so I can do some of these little icons. So I'm gonna do this one. This is where I'm gonna do mostly in Mossy Meadow. You can do it like this. Then turn your stamp around 180, I guess. And you could do it just like that. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go all the way around on this one, just to fill in it and give it a little bit more flair. I'm gonna flip it around so I can see the edge. Okay, so that dressed that one up quite a bit. Yeah, I'm loving this paper too. This is using a lot of the 2023, 2025 in colors. So we'll only have them, I guess, through next spring, and then I think they are discontinued, which will be sad. I hate discontinued products. All right, so there. Now let's do, I'm going to do the little leaf. I'm going to stamp this one off too, so it's a little bit lighter shade. And then you can just kind of stamp it anywhere you want on here. This one you do want to rock around just a little bit so that it gets the whole image. You can turn it upside down a little bit if you wanted. And I just kind of filled that one in a little bit. Just to give it some more color. Then I got a mess on that somehow with my hand, I guess. Oh well, I'm not going to worry about it. I guess I can splatter it a little bit. Okay, so those are done. I'm going to flip back around here. I'm going to put, I think I'm going to put the heart on this one in Mossy Meadow. And then I think I might, yeah, since I messed it up a little bit, we'll just distress it a little bit more here in a minute. So I don't have to redo everything. We have a little bitty flower that we can do on this one, just kind of right in the spot right there. And I didn't get him very well. Let me see if I can line him back up. I did pretty good. Okay. That's what's great about clear photopolymer stamps. Don't always get it lined up well, but all right, so that did use all of the stamps. So always love that too. So used all of your paper, your one sheet, and then every single stamp on here. And now let me just kind of move some stuff out of the way, clean up, put my inks away so don't make more of a mess. I think I have Mossy Meadow. Yeah. I have some Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blend, and I think I'll just, once I get it punched out, I'm going to splatter it a little bit, I think. All right, so now all we have to do is punch out. Now this is where it just makes it a little bit easier if you want to take your scissors and cut right down the center of those. It punches pretty close to that border, so this should work just fine. So a couple of punches are great. They really are. I hadn't used punches in years. Maybe a little circle punch, but that was it. So I understand them being bulky, but look how simple that is. And then I don't have to bring out I mean, this would work really great with Christmas. Okay. So just go through these and punch each one out. You're just lining it up. I do like how you can kind of fiddle around and make sure you get it pretty straight before you punch. Turn it around so you have something to hold on to. And then this one. You could sponge the edges of these if you want to add a little bit more color. I did not do that. I really tried to keep them super simple. Okay, so there's all your sentiments. I'm going to keep that piece because I can do something with that. And then just lock your punch back and put it away. Bring this over. So now we're just really needing, I guess, let me do that sympathy one. So this is what I like about the stamping blends, because they're pretty juicy, and this usually works. So I can just hit this and add a little splattering to it. And then that kind of helps with those smudges that I got on there. Okay, I'm just going to do that on the one. So something I learned with the stamping blends. Love that. And so let's see here. We've got our cards. Let's bring those back in. And you can really put these on whatever cards you want. I'm just going to keep them kind of the same as what I did, I think, on my other samples. I'm going to bring those in so you can kind of see them. So let's start with this one. I think I decided I could do it that way. Actually, I think I was going to do it this way. So I could do something similar to this. I can do my ribbon however I want. I am this time going to use, let's see if I can get that at an angle or not. Sometimes I can, sometimes you can't. Let's see here. I think I need some better scissors, so I just thought that would be kind of pretty with this. So I don't think I'll do a bow on this one. Think I will, don't want to do that. Could make like a cross, but I think I'm gonna zigzag it how I have a couple of others. Now if you hold it taunt is like bothering somebody, yelling at somebody, isn't it? Taut. I don't know. Now I don't know. Okay, so you can kind of do like a loop-de-loop thing or something. Almost like a bow in the background. You could do it this way so that one goes that way, one goes that way. Maybe a tiny bit longer. So I do have a little trick now that I think I've learned. So I'm going to try to use all this. So let me I think I'll kind of do it like that. So it's kind of behind here like that. Okay, so I'm going to kind of lay it out right there. You're going to take your, let me find my foam squares that I had out here. Or maybe I'm going to have to, I don't know what I did with them. I probably stuck them in. Okay, let me grab another pack real quick and just start over. Whoops. So my 3D foam, the Stampin' Dimensionals, that's what they're called. Okay, and I'm going to just cut like a line about like that long off the end. We're just going to start that way. So I have like a long piece. It's going to go across this way. So just kind of get it how you like it. I'm going to pull that out just a little bit more. I think, let me see here. So just kind of manipulate it to the look you want. Once you kind of have it back there, however it is you kind of want it, just lay that right over top. And that's going to hold your ribbon in place. Okay? I like it. And I don't think, since the ribbon's so thick, you don't really need any more dots. And then just center it in there like that. Just something fun and different. Let me find, we're going to finish the cards off as we put the sentiments on. So I'm going to grab my embellishments out that I want to use. So they come with big ones and little ones. I'm just going to use what's on here. I've got my little spatula on here. You could use this other end if you wanted to as well, the putty. On this one, how about we do that? So this pecan is looking real pretty. You can kind of just do however you want to do your dots. Put some up here and around. I'm just going to do that. So there's card number 1. Now this one didn't have anything on the inside. You could stamp another sentiment in there if you wanted from that set. So these are all the cards that I've created with just that design. I'm going to put that one on the top so you can see it over here. You can probably see it better over here. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. Out of the way. Now card number 2. Again, we have options. We can do, I did one of each, going different orientations. And we use the For You on that one. I think I'm done with that. So it can either be over here again. It could be like right there if you wanted. Maybe put some ribbon over here. How about we do that just for something a little bit different? So dots, I'm just going to put like 4 on here. So let me know if you would attempt this. How do you like the One Sheet Wonder? I didn't copy anyone, so I mean it may be similar to someone else's, but I just kind of cut it to my liking. All right, so we've got it like that. Now let's do some ribbon. See what we want to do with the ribbon over here. I think I'll do a bow, kind of similar to this. Get more loop out of that one. Kind of manipulate it. This is floppy ribbon. Don't know if I can get this side cut that well, because I don't. That will. It's going that way. Let's see. There we go. That's pretty good. So you can do it this way. I think I might like it more like this way. And I think it's fine sticking out there, something a little different. There's different ways you could put your ribbon, but actually I think I'm just going to do it like that. I'm going to use some glue dots to help it stay. It's going to probably need more than one. This is pretty chunky ribbon, so I'm going to put some on the backs of the bow. And you want to put your ribbon to the dot and then pull it off. That's usually the easiest way. All right, and then we're just going to kind of lay it right down here, I think. Centered. That'll work. Okay, and we'll do dots. This one I think I'll do, since I don't have any little, and you can do a combination. You can do some of the pecan pie and I'm gonna do and the pearl, I guess is what it's called. Do kind of a triangle over here. And then maybe do one or two up here. Let me try to see. Where do I think I want it? I'm just going to slap it on here. Just do them around randomly if you want. You can put however many you want on here. There. That way you've got 3 and 3, kind of. All right. Card number 2. It has a little bit of something over here, which technically I put it upside down. You could flip that around if you wanted to. Okay, there's that one. Now let's move to, so you can again see the different kind of orientations. Just do them different. Do them however you want. Okay, and then we've got Let's Eat Cake. These two are very similar. This one probably will be 2, just because we've got those banners up there. So this will be a great feminine card. So ribbon. So I think I'll just do the same thing. I do about, you see, about 4 inches, and you're just going to, you can cut these in different ways. I'm not going to try to because it'll be kind of hard, but I'm going to do the same thing and do a strip. I found that this was the easiest way to get the ribbon on the back. So maneuver it how you want it, kind of lay it on here, and then just lay that adhesive, those strips, dimensional elements. I'm going to put one up here, and I could probably put some, not totally necessary, but I'm going to put it like that. You might could grab some of your smaller ones, the mini dimensional elements. I'm really liking those mini dimensional elements. These almost seem huge now compared to. Okay, and you can center that if you want, like right there on that border. I like that. I'm just going to keep using these clear ones right now. And I just kind of put a few. I think I want to use like 3 on here. But you can load it up if you want to. But then if you want to conserve some of your dots, do that as well. Super simple. And we have quite a bit of pattern paper on the inside of this one. So that one's fun. Love that. We'll put that over here and then set those aside. Now let's do a sympathy card. Don't remember now if I was going to, I think I was going to do it that way. So it'd be a little bit different on this one, just because how the flowers are going. So there's that where I did, so you could do some more, like why don't we go ahead and do a little bit more. I'm going to move these out of the way so I don't get splatters. And it'll just make it, I can put some right there and oops, right there. And they have to be fairly juicy to do it that way, okay? But it gives a real fine splatter, which I like. See? And then now that all kind of coordinates. You could do it all the way around if you wanted to. All right, ribbon on this one, I did a little bit of that zigzag again. You could, this one, I think I'm actually gonna wrap it all the way around and do a bow, just because I can, because of the orientation. So let's see, if I do it like right here, I'm gonna put, see if I have any Stampin' Seal left. Put a little bit of Stampin' Seal right there. I'm gonna go under. And I'm gonna kind of line it up right there. Bring it tight. I can cut that excess off. Straighten it up, put some dimensionals on here. I just need them like on the top and the bottom. So if you're going to do a whole pack of DSP, I would suggest like cutting all your paper into 4x6s first, and then probably cutting all the pieces and putting them in stacks. And then you could get them all assembled and everything. And then you can go and do all your stamping, then do all your punching. So work in like a assembly line and just pick instead of doing one card at a time, you kind of get it all prepared and then you can just start assembling most of it. So, okay, I want something a little extra, so I'm going to do like a knot, like a knotted bow. Let's see if I got that long enough for me to do that. So just need a little knot. Kind of get the knot in the center best you can. Pull it taut. And then grab some glue dots. So this might be a real great incentive to use this diagram that I made to do your Christmas cards like this year and actually get them done. Because you could spend a day probably just doing these and getting them all done. If you set the time aside. All right, this one I'm going to kind of like just sneak under here a little bit. And I don't know that I'm going to attempt to cut that at an angle because I might mess it up. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, we have 2 more cards. Need to tighten that up a little bit. I'm getting to where I really like this side better. Okay, I'm going to do I'm just going to do like 3 of these randomly around. Oops, I got too far on there. Go way down here. I'll do that. So just put those embellishments wherever you want them. I try to think in triangles sometimes, but not all the time, especially on cards, but I do a lot on. So you've got those 3. Now this is just another set. If you're joining me late, I did 2 other sets prior to. Okay, and that one doesn't have anything on the inside because we use that whole 4x6 cut in half. Okay, and what do we have next? With this one, I think the Mr. and Mrs. This is just a pretty design for an anniversary or wedding card. So I think I was going to do it. See, all of these will be a little bit different. So I'm going to do this one like that. And I can do ribbon like that if I want. But I think I'm just going to do a little bit different. See, I'm just going to pull some. I'm not measuring it. I'm just pulling some length out. I might do that, kind of go back and forth. You could loop it and just have it poking out one side and out the other. Don't know if I like that. So maybe we'll just do that zigzag look again. Flop it over this way if you wanted to. You could make it like a bow behind it. So I think I might do that. But let me see if I can kind of find the center so they'll both be about the same length. So just maneuver it, play around with it a little bit until you think you like what you see. Okay. I'm going to kind of try to do it like that. So I need, of course, as soon as I lift, oh, it's going to stay. Yay. Again, do. Great way to use up all your dimensional elements. I don't know if I need that or not. So I'm going to go down the length of it. Okay, and that's just going to hold that in place for you. That really should probably be all I need. Right in the center. I'm just trying to decide kind of where I want it to go. How about, And you can just do some like on the edges here if you wanted to. I just thought of that. Whoops. That's plenty, that works. That one has just a little bit pattern paper. So those were all a little bit different. So again, just depending on your orientation, have fun with it or don't. And if you just want to whip them out to all be exactly the same, you can do that. All right, last one. So these both were similar. I decided I wanted to do this one going up. So I am going to, since I can open it up this way and wrap the ribbon around, I'm going to do that. Again, how I did that other, similar to that other one. I'll put some Stampin' Seal. We'll meet it right there in the seam. And this will hide underneath. And then I can do a bow at the bottom. Okay. Let's do, got this one. I'm gonna kind of, I think I really just need it right there on both sides because that ribbon is so thick. How many times have I let the dog in and out? At least twice, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I just let her out and let her back in. Standing here again. She's got to go out again. I'm about done. So here we go. All right. So Debbie's scrapbooking this weekend. Lisa, you got any plans this weekend? It's like Jeff and I have our 7th wedding anniversary tomorrow. So we're going to go to our favorite place, Hondo's on Main Street. Eat us probably some Mexican food and margaritas. We're going to splurge. Okay, I'm off camera. I'm over here making a bow. But I'm going to just cut it straight. Not even do that little angle. And I've got to cut a little bit more off this end. I can put my bow right down there. So Hondo's in Fredericksburg has the best margaritas ever. You only need one, maybe two, but that's usually going overboard. You definitely don't need 3. So they have some interesting flavors. They have a jalapeno one too. We've had one before, but I just prefer the traditional. But we like to enjoy a little Mexican food and margaritas every once in a while. So it's one of the first places that he took me. I think it was on our 2nd weekend date. Took me to Hondo's, and that's been my favorite place to eat and hang out. I like the atmosphere. The food's good. And then the margaritas are awesome. So I'm going to treat ourselves. All right, we'll do some pecan pie is the color of these. They were from our online exclusives. I'm just going to do 3, I think. I'm going to do it over here. Not too high. Oops. Alrighty. So that was a little bit different. So let's lay out our cards, our 6 cards. Love them. They turned out so pretty. And we've got all different orientations. And then plus I've got all those others. So we ended up with just one that was vertical, but which I didn't even realize I was doing. So however you want to orient them. So there we have it. The one sheet wonder that I made up yesterday. So screenshot it if you want, but I'm working on a diagram to make a PDF of it so that you could print that out and put it in a notebook if you wanted to. I'm going to try to start doing more PDFs with details, instructions, diagrams, things like that, because as long as it doesn't take me too long, I don't mind doing them. But sometimes, like those scrapbook workshops, I'm going to try to get back into doing some of those. But again, I'm just trying to orient, not overwhelm myself, I guess. So we have that. And then let me bring in all these others. Here, we'll just kind of peel the... I got them all kind of mixed up now. So give me a second while I get them in order. So how cool is that? I've got 18 cards that I made since yesterday. Ta-da! Thank you, Debbie. Excuse me. It's like, I wonder what's high today in the allergies and the ragweed. That was the last thing I saw a week or two ago. Something's getting me. But, all right. Y'all have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions about anything. I'll get a supply list up on the products that I used shortly. But y'all have a great weekend, and I'll see y'all Monday for Make It Monday live with Pamela, where I'll be scrapbooking the 2-page 12x12 scrapbook layout. So bye. Y'all have a great weekend.